Ladies and gentlemen, as promised yesterday, I keep my focus on the broadcast on what happened to a young man. His life lost, not because of his own fault, because the authorities slept. They slept on the wheel, and that resulted in his tragic death. That is where we'll keep the spotlight on, we'll keep the focus on this special coverage. I want to talk about how after on a foggy, cold night, Yuvraj, by mistake, on a 90-degree turn road, drove into this pit, this construction site. The Uttar Pradesh government, though now has cracked the whip, officials have been suspended, warnings were issued, but the fact remains that the government officials slept, resulting in this death. It's a murder, ladies and gentlemen. And why am I saying this? Why am I saying that this is a murder? Because there were 2 prior warnings which were given to the Noida CEO, who has now been shunted out. Under his regime, under his administration, 2 prior warnings were ignored. The victim, Yuvraj's car, has now been pulled out of the pit. SIT probe is on. But the question remains, while you've arrested the builder, what were you doing for so many years? NDTV has access footage from January 2nd, and I want to play out this exact footage, where you see a truck in a similar situation. It's a heavy truck. It broke that wall. And then, at least for the truck, fortunately, they were able to save their lives. Yuvraj was not that fortunate. His car went through into that ditch and he died. It's the same pit that we are talking about, the same stretch. The driver was rescued by an eyewitness of this truck. No repair was done. No action was taken for 15 days, ladies and gentlemen. Not even a danger sign, a blinker, a red mark, a warning for the drivers. That too in this cold. On January 17th, Yuvraj's car fell into this pit, this same very pit, and he died. He died because what happened as a warning 15 days back was absolutely ignored. But this is just not about the inaction in January this year. Earlier as well, a 2023 letter from the Uttar Pradesh Irrigation Department had already flagged the danger, urging the Noida authority to install regulators on the drain access water with, they were to drain the access water from this area. Funds were also sanctioned. Where did those funds go? What happened to those funds? The warning gathered dust, ladies and gentlemen, till the time a life was lost. This tells you how the babudom in our country doesn't care once they are in those prestigious chairs. You become an IAS officer, you get a government job at any level, and then that's it. Draw your salary, go home, till the time somebody loses his life, and then there is outrage. The pit remained open despite these warnings. 2 warnings in go, and 1 life has been lost. A young man died in the most horrific way, pleading to be saved. So not only is this the story about how well prepared we are to deal with such emergencies, our emergency services, whether it's the police, the fire brigade, or any other, and also it is a story of how our officers, administration, twiddles their thumbs. Don't do anything till the time somebody loses their life. A tragedy that could have been prevented. Yuvraj has been killed by the apathy, negligence, official sleepwalking, and sheer incompetence of the authorities in Noida. And this is unpardonable, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen in to some reactions on this.
है टकी को लेके वो जो टैक्स बच्चा जो है वो डूबा,
वो दुख का कारण है और चिंता का कारण भी है कि सभी व्यवस्थाओं के बावजूद हम लोग उस युवा को नहीं बचा पाए। ये चिंता का विषय है।
दुख का बात है, चिंता का कारण है. Did Mr. Sharma, the member of parliament, did you see that chinta on his face? It's a customary lip service, ladies and gentlemen. And what arrangements is he talking about? If they can't even save for more than 2 hours somebody's life who is in a desperate need, is that the cost of life in this country? But now knee-jerk reactions are taking place. What are the actions which have been taken place so far? I mean, action which has the government initiated because they want to bring the heat down. Noida Authority CEO has been removed, put on waiting list. Why on waiting list? Why shouldn't he be charged as well? What was he doing when when the warning was given 2 years back? When an accident happened just 15 days back on that spot. Noida Authority CEO removed a junior engineer. He has been terminated because scapegoats have to be found. SIT team has been formed and they have been given 5 days, now 4, to submit their report. And the builder and the real estate owner have been arrested by the police. It's just to let off the heat and then they will be back. The business of usual, sab chalta hai, will be back. Officials slept on this, ladies and gentlemen, and I keep saying this. This is such a heartbreaking story because Yuvraj could have been alive today if officials acted on the warnings, if they just did what they were supposed to do. 2 warnings were ignored, as I told you. And Yuvraj, paid with his life. Because the file is gathering dust somewhere, this man lost his life. A full life ahead of him. Warning number 1, 2023, official letter flagged the need to install a regulator at this pit. UP Irrigation Department wrote to the Noida Authority on the pit. Said that, you need to take out the water. There were funds which were sanctioned for it. What happened to those funds? We don't know. The warning letter gathered dust lost in the files as officials went with their chai samosa parties every single day from 9 to 5 and went home. Warning number 2, on January 2nd, a truck fell in the same pit. Driver was saved by the bystanders. No action was taken by the officials after this accident as well. And then came 17th of January, which turned the Mehta household completely upside down, a shock that they will never recover from. Yuvraj's car fell into this pit. He died. Officials didn't act for 15 days and Yuvraj paid with his life, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the truck driver, Gurvinder Singh, who met with this accident on the same spot on January 2nd, has spoken to my colleague Akil. He said that had action been taken, Yuvraj could have been alive. He also said that there were internal injuries, left him struggling to speak with stuttering, starting only after the accident. But who does he go and complain to? Because nobody in this country cares. Listen in.
भाई साहब ऐसे हुआ कि रोड से 10 कदम पे नाला है, तो वहाँ कोई साइन बोर्ड नहीं है, वहाँ कोई बैरिकेड नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. तो हमने तो सोचा कि रोड ही है, तो हमारी गाड़ी वहाँ हिट हो गई. जो गाड़ी के आगे वाले टायर हैं वो आगे चले गए, जो सेंटर वाले हैं वो नाले में फंस गए. तो हमें लगा कि नीचे पक्की जगह है, गाड़ी फुटपाथ पार कर गई. तो मैंने जैसे नीचे छाल मारी, भाई साहब इतना पानी था मेरे.
आप कितने घंटे वहां पर फंसे हुए थे?
4 घंटे.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप? कह रहे हैं 12 बजे घटना घटती है, आप सुबह 4 बजे तक वहीं पे उसी जगह पर?
वहीं उसी पे.
कौन कौन आपकी मदद के लिए आया वहाँ पे?
वो लड़कियों का नाम नहीं मालूम है.
नहीं, ये प्रशासन की तरफ से कोई आया? पुलिस की टीम
की तरफ से आए थे, लेकिन कोई मदद नहीं करी. अगर प्रशासन चाहता तो जेसीबी तुरंत आ सकती थी.
नहीं, पुलिस टीम मौजूद थी वहाँ पे? आई?
2 आदमी आए थे.
कितने बजे आए? कितने घंटे बाद?
वो आए हैं कोई 2-3 के आसपास.
2-3 के आसपास? मतलब घटना 12 बजे की होती है और 2 घंटे बाद, 3 घंटे बाद पुलिस आती है वहाँ?
हाँ.
फायर ब्रिगेड की टीम आई थी वहाँ पे?
कोई नहीं आया.
SDRF की टीम आई थी?
कुछ नहीं आया.
NDRF की टीम आई थी?
कुछ नहीं आया भाई.
नोएडा अथॉरिटी की टीम आई थी वहाँ पे?
कुछ नहीं. नोएडा अथॉरिटी की टीम कब आई? जब मैं बाहर निकल गया अगले दिन 12-1 बजे दोपहर को. तो उल्टा वो हमसे बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे जो नाला टूट गया है इसके पैसे कौन देगा?
हमारे पैसे कौन देगा? And that's, I think, is the bottom line. They only care about where the money is going to come from, not about what they need to do. NDTV confronted the district magistrate of Noida over this techie's death, over this tragic death. And look how he reacted to the questions which were posed by my colleague Tanushree.
Well, let us also speak to Noida DM Medha Rupam, who is over here. Medha ji, what you have to say on this entire matter? DDMA is the first respondent. Why the team was not present on the spot? Medha ji, the people want to know that what has happened. Today's done, Yuvraj. There will be another Yuvraj. Don't touch me like this. Don't touch me like this, please. You need to answer the questions now. क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप? मेधा जी, अशोक जी यहाँ आइए, यहाँ आइए, हटिए.
उनके कुछ और बयान थे.
What would you want to say? You are the DDMA was the first respondent. Why you were not present? Medha ji, you are the GM of Noida. What would you like to say? What would you like to say? The DDMA is the first respondent. On your screens currently. Let us also go from that side. Why no action is being taken? Was Noida not saying anything? Why did the security is the first respondent? We are just asking questions, nothing else. Why asking questions as to what they have to say? You cannot stop us like this from asking the questions. क्या कहना चाहेंगे? यहाँ पे पानी भरा हुआ है पूरा. आप चुप क्यों हैं? मेधा जी, why are you not saying anything? जवाब दीजिए मेधा जी. आप सवालों से क्यों भाग रही हैं? Medha, people want to know that what has actually happened. You being the first responding DDMA, why DDMA was not there? Why? What you have to say on this? So Noida DM, why was not any preparation?
आप 4 दिन बाद कोर्ट पर आइए. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप जवाब नहीं देंगे.
So after 4 days of our young life being snuffed out because of the absolute failure of the administration, the DM decides to go then for a recce there, see the spot. And then, I mean, I can understand what would she have to say? What will she say? It was the administration, Noida administration, the district administration, a collective failure, and all of them should be made responsible for this. And while we are talking about how the administration and systems react in our country, a shocking claim has been made in this case. The eyewitness and the only man who had the courage to jump into that cold water in the dark, not the NDMA, not the SDMA, not the fire brigade, not the police. A man who was going, a delivery boy, Maninder Singh, who jumped in the cold water to try and save this man. But alas, it was too late. He now claims that 3 policemen have threatened him. They are pressurizing him to change his statement. Remember, Maninder Singh was the delivery worker who tried to save Yuvraj Mehta, the Noida Techie who drowned after his car fell into that pit. Now, the witness in fact says that he can identify the policemen involved. Remember, the Uttar Pradesh government has shunted, top Noida authority officials and set up an SIT. But the government has also faced questions from within. Noida BJP MP Mahesh Sharma called the death tragic and raised questions over the delayed rescue response. Now, as I said, how the system functions? First, ignore, let somebody die, don't answer questions. And if there is somebody who in fact tried to do their own job, this man had the courage to jump into that water, try and put pressure on the eyewitnesses so that nothing happens. There are no changes which are made. I want to show you these live visuals, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment. The car which has been recovered from this very spot. In fact, we just saw that crane as well. And the car is being pulled out from this ditch. This is the spot where, unfortunately, Yuvraj lost his life. And it's been over 4 days. The car has just been pulled out from this very site. These are live images coming in at this moment. Well, we'll go back to those visuals, but I want you to listen in first to what Maninder Singh, the man who should have been, in fact, his courage should be saluted, now being put under pressure by the authorities to save their own. Let's listen in.
सर मतलब प्रशासन की तरफ से भी जो लोकल पर्सन हैं वो भी बहुत सारे ये बोल रहे हैं कि अपने फ़ोन को स्विच ऑफ कर दे, यहाँ से चला जा, 10-20 दिन मत दिख, इस केस में मत खड़ा हो खुल के. अब एक चीज़ बताएं सर, मैंने 3 दिन सच्चाई दिखाई है, पूरे ऑल इंडिया को लगा ले. मैंने एक छोटी से लेकर बड़े तक मैंने बिल्डर तक की भी पोल खोली है, अथॉरिटी की पोल खोली है कि जब अथॉरिटी ने ये बेसमेंट सीज किया था, उस बिल्डर के खिलाफ केस हुआ था, अथॉरिटी ने सीज किया था, अथॉरिटी ने इसको लेवल क्यों नहीं किया. ये मौत का गड्ढा क्यों खोद के रखा? फिर अथॉरिटी की भी तो गलती है, मान के चलो। और बिल्डर ने ऐसा बताता कि ओ जी
समझाइए मुझे, आपको थाने बुलाया गया, आपका स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड हुआ है नहीं हुआ?
जी जी जी
प्रेशर क्या?
प्रेशर यही है कि इस केस से अलग हट जाओ बिल्कुल ही। जो अपने साथ में लगा के वीडियो में ये बुलवाया था कि मोनिंदर आप एक काम करो, पुलिस को साथ में लेके चलो, पुलिस से आप बैर मत बांधो, ये चीज गलत है वगैरह, ये बहुत ज्यादा गलत हो जाएगी आपके लिए, ऐसे ऐसे बोल के मेरे साथ वीडियो बनाइए।
Let me at this moment go across to Ms. Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer, Lieutenant Governor, somebody who has been a very important voice on these issues as well. Ma'am, thank you so much for speaking to us. You know, I have tried to just put the spotlight, ma'am, through this program on not only what has gone wrong, but the usual response of the authorities. The police is threatening the eyewitness, the only man who had the courage to jump into that water. There are warning signs which were absolutely ignored. Is this what we expect from the system, ma'am?
Yes, if you have the wrong people at the right places and who do not know how to govern, they do not know how to administer, they don't understand their responsibility. I think they are always shirkers. They are just there for the job's sake, not to serve. You have wrong people at the right places. They don't, you see, you have, and also even now the solutions are not right. You know, you need an STF to know what went wrong. But just transferring an officer is not the solution. They need to be sent home. Go home. The chief engineers go home. Junior engineers go home. The chief secretary CEO goes home and get another transfer sometime later. No, just go home. They need to be voluntarily retired. Similarly, the builder doesn't need to be only arrested. He needs to pay a huge criminal liability for the life of the techie. So I think they all need to go home because none of them actually, these individuals, and the district magistrate goes home. See, unless you send them packing home, voluntarily retiring, this transfer is no punishment. That is why it's happening again and again. In the recent past, Indore was the same case. You had complaints even there, and Indore में भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. यहाँ पर भी शिकायत हुई, कुछ नहीं हुआ. ये सबकी जिम्मेवारी है. And irrigation department should have kept track, should have kept follow-up. You just don't need to say. Where is the coordination? Where is it coming together? Because this kind of leadership just does not know how to work together and follow up the matter.
Ma'am, do you think that it keeps happening because there is no penal action against babus, against the people, those who are responsible for this system to work? Nothing happens to them. But a mere transfer from one prestigious post to another prestigious post, so you only can shirk your shoulders and move on. That is why it keeps happening.
That is why, Ankit, I said, they need to be sent home. Finished, compulsory retired. Either suspended and retired. Go prove your innocence first. What did you do on these? Prove your innocence. Onus is on you. I think that's where we're going wrong. We are continuing to retain people who are in leadership position, but are no leaders. They are impositions. They don't know how to govern. Governance means action. Governance means response. Government means responsibility. Government means knowing what your problem is. Governance means urgency of public service. The problem is none of this is happening. They are not leaders. They are impositions on very important leadership positions. They need to be sent home. STF is required. Transfer is fine, but he needs to be voluntarily retired.
Can I also ask you this whole behavior, and we have seen it time and again, ma'am, of the police forces as well. The only man, the eyewitness who jumped into this frigid water to try and save this young boy, now is being pressurized to change his statement. They believe whatever he has been spoken, oh, he's so outspoken, he will get us in trouble. They are telling him that there will be consequences for him.
Because the police is protecting the same administration. Because the police is part of the same negligence. Because even the police could have flagged. After all, traffic police bhi to hoti hai. Traffic police ne kya kiya yahan? Traffic police should have put up warning signs. Traffic police has a role that this is dangerous. And they could have done a lot of fluorescents. They could have done they could have done the blinkers. Traffic police ka bhi to role hai. Where is the traffic police? Because these areas are traffic management. Traffic police is not for VIP traffic management. Traffic police is also to identify where are the danger zones. and then put up all the boulders and fluorescent signs to say avoid this. Similarly, the techie, the person, the builder who's been only arrested, he'll be out on bail after 1 week. What happens? Nothing. He'll go back to building. He needs to pay at least 100 crores of compensation. 100 crores. And his builder license should be placed under suspension so that he can't construct anymore. Unless you give exemplary punishments to the negligence, people will continue to lose lives as they did in Indore, as they did now.
You're absolutely right. And I want that to be the last word on this. Exemplary punishment, example needs to be made. Otherwise, we'll be a country that goes from one tragedy to another. We outrage for a day or two, and then things go back to normal. This cannot be business as usual. The chalta hai attitude has to be put to an end. Otherwise, unnecessary lives will be lost.
They need to be sent home packing. Pack your bags and go home. You may have joined the services, but you don't deserve it because you've not fulfilled the purpose of your service. The purpose of your purpose is to serve the people, respond to them, being sensitive, and then being proactive and being acting on the grievances and not sleeping over it. I think they need to be sent home.
Ma'am, because you're saying that, let me very quickly ask you this as well. I mean, we are talking about the administration as well. We have seen how this builder administration, nexus so many times, so many complaints have been made as far as people are concerned. Is there a time to also for our lawmakers to relook? We need more stringent, in fact, laws. If negligence of this costs a life, there has to be a much bigger penalty attached to it.
Amit, all these laws are already there. They're not applied. What sends you? This is criminal negligence. Therefore, the man can be sent home unless he proves his innocence that he did his best to avoid this. So all these, they're all compulsory retirement is a part of the rules, service rules. A criminal liability can be suable. He can be paid the damages. He must pay the damages. So these are license suspension can be there. Traffic police rule, it's negligence. These rules are there, but they're not being applied.
Right.
You don't need more laws. You just need execution and application of these laws. And then be punishing and not being forgiving at the moment.
Right. Ms. Bedi, thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time out. It's always important to have voices like yours, to put forward at least a right message to the services as well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I want to very quickly go across to my colleague Tejshri, who is joining me on the broadcast at this moment. Tejshri is at the very spot. You heard her earlier when she tried to confront the district magistrate. The car in fact, Yuvraj is being taken out today. Tejshri, over to you. Just show our viewers what is happening at this moment.
Well, absolutely. We'll show you so as to what is happening right now. What we are being told is that in just some time from now, maybe few minutes from now, the vehicle in which Yuvraj Mehta was, that particular vehicle will now be recovered. As you see that the teams, the NDRF teams are all on their work. They were deep diving so as to find the vehicle, and that's the machine, that's the crane, in fact, through which the vehicle is now being taken out. You can see it seems like they have actually recovered the vehicle. They have found the vehicle, and then they have attached the hook to the vehicle so that the vehicle could be pulled out. Now imagine the situation, that what the condition must have been at that point of time when Yuvraj Mehta standing at the top of the vehicle, the brave boy in the cold water, standing over there asking for help for more than 60 to 80 minutes. But then again, there was no help. In fact, his friend told us that his friend told us that after standing on the top of the car, he was continuously in touch with his father. But then he also, in fact, kept on showing the torchlight of his phone so as to give a signal that where he is. And in fact, the rescuer as well, the delivery guy also, in fact, swam for around 20 minutes. And then the question remains to be seen that why at this point of time, you can see that at that point of time when these teams were not present, why they were not well equipped. You can see that there's this long rope as well, and at any point of time now the vehicle could be moved up, and in the pictures we'll be just watching, we'll be just seeing that particular car of Yuvraj Mehta, which was there at this point of time. Remember that we did in fact question the Noida DM Medha Rupam, who dodged all the questions, and to the surprise, when we asked the MP of Noida over here so as to what he has to say, Mahesh Sharma, he goes on to say that galtiyan hoti hai aur hum galtiyon se hi seekhte hain. This was his response, and imagine after 4 days the authority have come over here to take the stock of the situation. I mean, where were they after the very incident took place? Where was the SDR, where was the DDMA, and why they, in fact they were not equipped, the SDRF, NDRF and the fire department services as well. And in fact more bizarre is the what the rescuer claims is as of now seems like the rope that was pulling the car, that's broken, and again it time to visual the crane. So now in all likelihood seems like it will take more time to recover the vehicle, but we'll be keep on asking the questions so as to who should be held accountable, because today it's one Yuvraj, tomorrow it could be someone else.
All right, like Techie was showing us those visuals, in fact, likelihood of the rope being broken, and then they will try the rope again. But I want, ladies and gentlemen, you to look at those visuals. You see that those swanky buildings and the reflection of those buildings while somebody's life was lost in this parcel of land. This is not supposed to be a lake. This is not supposed to be a water body. This is supposed to be a land which was given to a builder for development. There could have been more apartments or whatever they wanted to build here. But because of the apathy, the stagnant water, and also the water from the buildings around, which accumulated here, the waste disposal, the water from the rain, and nobody then took care of it. Nobody cared about it. This water body and the reflection of those nice swanky buildings that you see, Yuvraj was a resident of one such building. This is what you get despite paying such enormous cost for a house in the NCR region. These are the facilities, this is the care, this is the help, this is the amount of civic infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen, you get in the NCR region after paying enormous amount to buy a house, and then of course direct and indirect taxes. The value for your life is nothing. It's zero. Let me go back to Techie for a quick update. Techie, like you said, the rope has been broken. So it will take again some time for them to plug the rope and ensure that the car comes out, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, it will take some more time, and what we can see as of now is these are the SDRF team, and that's the rope in their hand. They're again trying to, mechanically just tie that rope to the car so that it can attach to those hooks that are linked to this crane, and then possibly the crane will be able to lift that vehicle which is there in this drain. And you can imagine the condition, because the drain is so deep over here, because it is taking them more than 6 to 7 hours. We have been reporting over here since morning, and we have also been seeing that how they have been how in fact they are not able to find out the car, and still the authorities have been saying that action is being taken, the SIT is being formed, and the junior engineer is being suspended. The Noida CEO was Noida Authority CEO was suspended. But the question remains to be seen is, after all these suspension, after all these actions, will they be able to bring the life of Yuvraj back? Yuvraj was standing over here above his car seeking for help. The NDRF teams were here. They were standing over here. They were just standing. They were not even ready to dive in, because they were not trained rescuers. They were not trained divers. And why were these emergency lines made? They are made so that help could be the individual who requires help within minutes they could come.
Try and do. We will come back to you once, in fact, the car is out. We'll try and get those visuals for our viewers. There is still some time before the car comes out.